Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the latest edition of Wow, Lynch, Wow, dedicated to filmmaker David Lynch and inspired by the triumphant return of Twin Peaks. A friendly warning to everyone who isn't caught up on all 9 episodes of the new season of Twin Peaks. There will be spoilers, and they will begin in just a moment. So viewers and listeners, be warned. Is Special Agent Dale Cooper a skilled fighter? We know that he loves coffee. We know that he's very smart. We know he has great intuition. And we know that he's a great shot. But can he fight? We know that Coop was too smart and too quick for the woman at One-Eyed Jack's. And more recently, we saw Cooper take on a far more formidable foe when he neutralized Ike the Spike and unleashed a couple of vicious karate chops in the process. So on the surface, it appears that Cooper is a skilled and capable fighter. It seems he can fight, but just to play devil's advocate here, what if he isn't a skilled fighter? What if Cooper sucks at fighting? So far, the only 2 times we've seen Coop in combat, he beat up a woman and he beat up a man less than half his size. Now, I don't mean to sound sexist or anything. I believe that Janey-E can kick more ass than most of the male characters on the show. Janey-E is kicking all sorts of ass everywhere she goes, and she doesn't even need to throw a punch. The Fusco trio are afraid of her. The Lone Shark ruffians are intimidated by her. Battling Bud Mullins doesn't seem eager to quarrel with her. And Dougie is usually scared shitless whenever she's yelling at him. Except for that time he smiled and explained to her that Jade gave him 2 rides. So Janey-E is kicking all sorts of ass. But Cooper caught that poor woman at One-Eyed Jack's off guard, and then he neutralized her follow-up attack and punched her in the gut. But what kind of opponent is this woman? She's just some third-tier henchwoman, and I'm not even sure if this character had a name. Neutralizing Ike's attack appears far more impressive on the surface, and Coop no doubt showed good instincts and reflexes. But Ike is less than half his size, and Coop had a creepy tree cheering him on for encouragement. And then Janey-E also threw herself right in the mix of things, and we already know how much ass she can kick. So despite Janey-E being awfully impressed by those karate chops, and I have to admit, these were some pretty impressive karate chops, no doubt. But beyond that, this was a 3-on-1 contest, where Coop, the creepy tree, and Janey-E all triple-teamed an unsuspecting Ike the Spike. He had no idea what he was up against. Let's also remember that Cooper and Harry were good as dead when they rescued our beloved Audrey. If it wasn't for Hawk being such a badass, they were surely doomed. And then Coop had the encounter with Jean Renault, where he bravely traded himself for Dennis and Ernie, but Coop ultimately needed to be saved once again, this time by Denise. In both of those situations, Cooper was unable to fight his way out of a bad predicament, and he relied on others to bail him out of trouble. Cooper never beat someone down with a sneak attack the way Hank schooled Leo, or the way Hank schooled Big Ed Hurley. Cooper never delivered a one-punch knockdown the way Sheriff Harry Truman decked an overly rude Albert. Cooper never kicked ass the way Bobby Briggs and Mike Nelson did at the Roadhouse Brawl, in a barroom full of foes from the local bikers gang. Cooper never totally beat the shit out of someone the way Nadine did to Hank when she rescued poor Ed. And incidentally, if there's one character we perceive as being tough in the show who has a worse track record than Cooper, it's definitely Big Ed. And finally, Cooper never did what Chet Desmond did in the most badass fighting move of all time when Agent Chet Desmond schooled a guy by grabbing a hold of his nose. Now don't get me wrong, I think Special Agent Dale Cooper is indeed a badass, and I think he's probably a very skilled fighter. Perhaps even a badass elite fighter. But the truth remains, to this point in time, Cooper beat up a low-ranking, nameless henchwoman, and he beat up a man less than half his own size with the aid of a creepy tree and the mighty Janey-E. So I think the jury is still out on Cooper's fighting prowess, but I'd like to believe he's going to kick a lot of ass and truly prove his mettle before long. And I still maintain that this moment of reckoning will happen at the casino, where we see the triumphant return of one Bill Shaker. That's all I got. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great night.